So, guys, I want to share something with you that happened with me recently, and it was, I think, last week. Something happened, and I don't know, like, it was a situation that it was supposed to make me cry, panic, be scared, or be helpless. But I don't know, the first thing that just came to my mouth was, "It is well." So today I want to share with you a story from the Bible that I got the inspiration from, and I was just led to share this. And I just, like, as you can see, I'm not prepared for a video. See, I have no makeup on, no nothing. Like, I've been so busy all week, and there was no way for me to create video, and I don't have bulk videos recorded. I'm yet to bulk record. So, like, there was nothing. So I just said, let me just show up here and say this and just get this off my chest. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Beauty of April 7 Style. I create videos on fashion, lifestyle, and faith, and whatever it is that will help you live purpose and just help you live a purposeful living in general. So today I'll be delving into something, and it is on faith. Yes. So what actually happened, guys, was that, okay, so my sister sent me a message and she was like, "Oh, so thing has happened. I will not really go into details of what really happened because I'm not led to share it." So she was like, "Oh, so thing has happened that I should pray." And in my head, I'm like, to be honest, I did not want to pray about the situation. Like, there was no urge for me to pray about the situation, because normally when I get, oh, pray about something, there's usually a burden that comes that would make me want to pray about it. But this one, there was no burden. I just okay, I'll pray, but there was no burden, you get, because usually I get this burden to pray about it. But there was about things, but there was not those burdens. So I was just like, and the first thing that just came, like, and I was thinking about it, and the first thing that just came was, "It is well." So I just sent her a message and I was like, "It is well." And eventually, like, days passed and it was looking like the situation will not be solved. And it was solved, like, on the fifth day of the week. It was solved. It happened on a Monday, and on Friday it was sorted. So why I really did not bother myself about it was because, okay, this situation was something that had happened, and we've prayed about it and it has been solved. God has already solved it. And the same thing now occurred again. So, like, in my head, I'm like, God has already solved it. We've passed this stage. This is not what God is saying about this situation again. What He's saying now about this case is something higher, something bigger. So, like, what we prayed about and He has answered, there's no way, like, revisiting it. And funny enough, the way God came through in that situation is a totally different story for another day. So in my head, I'm like, God has already answered this. So anything happening again, like, this is not what He's saying about this case right now. What He's saying about this case right now is a different, like, higher level, different ball game entirely. So there's no way for us to, like, stress ourselves about it. So I just told her it is well, and she was like, "It is well, I don't understand." And I was like, "Read Second Kings chapter 4." But there's a particular woman in the Bible that her faith is so mind blowing, and this is in the Old Testament. Is in Second Kings chapter 4. So the story was, um Prophet Elisha, he was always going through Shunam, and there's this woman and her husband, the Shunammite woman. The Bible referred to her as the Shunammite. So she would usually, like, give Prophet Elisha things when he's passing by. And she told her husband, and she was like, "I suspect this man is a man of God. Let's just, instead of him coming through this direction always, let's just try to create a room for him in our house, so that once he's passing by, he gets to stay and rest before finally going to his own place." And the husband agreed, and they arranged a room for Prophet Elisha for in a house. So Prophet Elisha, now being like, "Oh, this woman, your kindness, you're far too kind, your kindness is too much," he called his a servant Gehazi, and I was like, "Okay, so what do we do to this woman? Should I talk to the king about this woman to help her in any way that she would need help, blah blah blah?" And they called the lady, and the lady was like, "Oh, she's okay, she's among her people, she does not need that. And Gehazi was like, oh, she does not have a child, oh, and her husband is old, oh. So I think having a child will be something that will be important for her at this point in her life. Yeah. So Prophet Elisha told the woman that, oh, at this time of life next year, you would have a child of your own. And the woman was like, please do not play with me. Like, don't play with me. Look at my husband. Look at me now. My situation, there's no way I'm going to have a child. So the woman was like, don't play with me, you know? And Prophet Elisha was like, I'm not playing with you. You're going to have a child. And really, like, the following year, she had a child, a son. And there was this day the child was with the father in the fields, and he was feeling a certain type of way. He was feeling sick, like, my head, and all that. And so the father told one of the servants, take the child to his mom. So they took the child to his mom, oh, and then the woman carried the child, and before they knew it, the child was dead in her arms. And she did not say anything. Obviously, probably she'll be mad and everything, like all the emotions will be creeping in. This is a situation that it is supposed to make us mad. Like, I mean, you said I'm going to have a child, and I told you don't play with me, and the child is finally here, grown to a particular age, and now he's dead in my arms. This is not referring to a child. In our own case, it could be a career that finally we've been like waiting for this career path, and it finally comes, and then it is dead in our hands. It could be like probably marriage. We've been wanting to get married, and God finally does it while married, and the marriage is not like what we think it is. There's so much chaos and whatnot in the marriage. It could be probably a job you've been expecting. It could be in business, probably like, oh, you've been praying for this business, and it finally comes, and the business is just dead in your hands, and you're like, God, you said this. So it could be just think of this woman's child as anything, in relating it to herself. It could be anything in her arms. So going back to the story, so the woman like carried, and the child was dead in her arms. Her husband came back, and she was telling her husband that she has to go and meet Prophet Elisha. And the husband was like, oh, it's not Sabbath, neither is he wanting. So why will you go and meet the man of God at this time? Like, and the woman was like, it shall be well. So because the woman was telling her husband, please tell your servant to saddle a donkey so that I can go meet the prophet. And the woman was like, it shall be well. Like, that was the first thing. Since she held that child, she did not speak. The first thing she spoke was, oh, please saddle a donkey for me so I can go meet the man of God. And when the husband was like, it's not yet time, is anything okay? And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, it shall be well. Like, it's so mind-blowing. It shall be well. Even in a death situation, because there's no guarantee that she going to Prophet Elisha will make the child come alive. So imagine you are in a hopeless situation, and the first thing that came out of your mouth was, it shall be well. And then the husband was like, okay. So she told the servant that was taking her to the prophet's place, she told the servant, saddle the donkey, like, move so fast, don't stop until I tell you to. So she went, and from afar, Prophet Elisha and his servant Gehazi, they saw the woman coming, and Prophet Elisha was like, is that not the Shunammite woman? Like, go and meet her and ask her if everything is well at home, if her child or her husband is well, blah blah blah, or if she's well. And Gehazi went and was like, ma'am, is your child well? Is your husband well? Are you well? And she said, it is well. Like, now she's using a positive, like a present statement. It is well. You know, the first time she said, it shall be well. Now she's saying, it is well. Like, this is so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful to see. And she went to the man of God. She was like, she just wants to see the man of God. And she came to meet Prophet Elisha and told Prophet Elisha what had happened. And Prophet Elisha was like, okay. Prophet Elisha now gave Gehazi, a servant, I think in our today's language, it could be like probably his handkerchief or something to just represent him. So he told him, oh, go and touch this boy. And the woman was like, I'm not leaving here, until you come. But Gehazi, he did as he was instructed. He went, he touched the child with the stuff, and nothing happened. And he came back and he was like, I did touch the child with what you said I should do, and nothing happened though. And Prophet Elisha was like, okay. So Prophet Elisha was like, okay, I'll go myself. And Prophet Elisha, with the woman and Gehazi, they went to the woman's place. The woman had laid the child in the room that they prepared for the man of God in their home. You know, the room that the man of God usually comes to stay in their house. So she had prepared that place for that place that she has prepared for the man of God. She had to place the child there. So when the man of God came in, the first thing he did was pray. He locked the door. Yes, he locked the door. So it was just him and the child in the room, and he prayed. He prayed. And after praying, he laid himself on top of the child, his eyes on the child's eyes, his nose, his mouth, like that, his arms. And then before you knew, the child sneezed and the child was alive. And he opened it and was like, oh, come and take your child, gave the child to the woman. And it was so beautiful. The beautiful things about the Shunammite woman story is that her faith is so beautiful to see. And it just reminds me that faith isn't loud. It is just it is just declaring positive, even when our situation or whatever it is around us looks hopeless or is not agreeing to what it is. So I was reading a book during that time that this situation happened to me. The book I was actually reading was a Bible study course on faith by Pa Kenneth Hagin. And if you follow me on socials, you know I always post about Pa Kenneth Hagin. Like, his books are really helpful to me. They are building my faith. Like, if my faith was on a zero, it is on a one now since I've been reading his books. So his books are so beautiful and so insightful. So I totally recommend, if you want to build your faith, please read Kenneth Hagin's book. Any and every of his book, they will help you build your faith. So those times that I was reading the book, I think that was what even like gingered me, because normally the me, I would pray, I will be praying and all. But what just gingered it was that I was reading the book and it was saying something about faith is confessing even when your situation does not look like it. And he gave himself, for instance, he was very sick at a young age. And at the time that God had healed him and he has gotten his healing from confessing the scriptures and all, he said he would go to the park, and eventually when he started school back, people in school, they'll be looking at him like, man, you're supposed to be resting, because his situation was so bad. Where he's supposed to work for like maybe 30 minutes, it would take 2 hours to do that work. So his teachers in school were like, you should stay home. And he said his situation was looking so bad, and they will tell him, you're not well. Obviously he's not well, but he will tell them, I am well. So for me, when I heard it, when I read that part, I was like, I'm going to be declaring these things. Like, so for me personally, I had, because it's a past tense and I am healed. So I had ulcer, and what I started doing was I started speaking to myself every morning when I wake up. I started speaking healing in my body, divine healing in my body. I'll quote scriptures like Mark 11:23-24. I'll quote First Peter 2:24, by his stripes we are healed. I'll quote he himself took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses. I'll quote those scriptures on God taking our sickness, and those faith scriptures, just to say those things. And obviously my situation was not changed, I tell you, because you will still see me when I eat some certain things that isn't right with my tummy. I'll go to the toilet multiple times. I will like my tummy, like I wasn't okay, my situation was bad from the standpoint of view, but I kept declaring and I kept telling myself, like, before I used to say, oh, my ulcer, but now I'm like, man, I remember one day I was talking to someone, I'm like, man, I don't have all those things again. I've cancelled like every sickness, even when I have like an a headache. And the thing, I'm like, I just place my hand on my head and just tell it to move away. And like at first when I started, it was not seeming like it was working. But with time, as I started declaring, because he said faith is actually confessing, even when it does not look like it. So I kept confessing and confessing. And I'll not lie you, I don't have those symptoms that I used to have. Like I pull normal, like once in a day, like normal people. Or like before, like every minute I'm in the toilet and I'm losing weight as a result of it. So that's a testimony. So I want to urge you. One thing I learned from the Shunammite woman's story is confessing, confessing right, confessing positive things, confessing the word of God, even when our situation doesn't look like it. She said, "It is well." It is well is not just a statement, it is a declaration. I know most times we're used to, oh, when situation, it is well, Jare, we just say it casually. But when you actually like say it deeply, it does a lot of work. So confess and declare what the word of God has said in your life, even when your situation doesn't look like it. If your finances is a mess or your finances is not right, declare it is well with my finances. Say those positive things about your finances according to the word of God, even when it doesn't look like it. And the second thing I learned from the Shunammite woman is that you don't have to explain everything to everybody. You don't have to explain your situation or whatever it is that is going on in your life with everybody. Just take it to God and trust Him. Like the woman, her husband asked her, he said, well, like, what is happening? She did not even explain. She just like, it shall be well. If I see the man of God, it shall be well. That was just what she said. She did not explain. Even when the servant Gehazi came to meet her and was like, are you okay? Is your husband well? Are you well? Is your child well? And she said the same thing. It is well. She did not go on saying, oh, the man of God said that I'm going to have a child, and now the child is dead. He is dead, blah, 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 and crying. She did not. She just declared it is well. It was when she finally saw the man of God that she started to shalaye. So when we're in situation, most times, do not explain to people. Like, take your complaints to God. Take your complaints to the one who has the solution of the problem. Like, don't take your complaints to, like, if you complain to people, people will just be people. If you're lucky enough to complain to like good people, and like maybe believers, they will encourage you and pray with you and pray for you, pray with you. And if you're lucky to have the ones that are really, really nice and probably very spiritual, they'll take up your case in their head and pray with you for days and see that it is sorted. But if you talk to somebody that like doesn't know anything about faith and all, they will just take it casually. And if you talk to some wicked ones, they will even laugh at you self, like, look at this stupid person. So this is what you're going through, and you're doing this and you're forming. So like, you don't have to explain whatever it is that is happening to you to people. It is your season. And whatever, like if it's a low season, it is a low season, it is a low season. That is what it is. They cannot solve your problem. The only person that can solve your problem is God. Yes, but that does not mean that sometimes you cannot tell people what it is that is happening with you. Of course, you can tell them if you feel the need to tell them, but ultimately, still go to God, because He's the one. Like people say, "Oh, do God know that?" Does God know that this situation will happen? He does. He does. Even when we walk out of His will, He does, and He's going to sort it. Seasons come and seasons go. You cannot stay in the valley season forever. This valley season is just for a while. And most times, what I've come to realize is that the valley season is to shape our character, is to prepare us for greatness, and whatever it is, the next season will be. So, God wants to prepare us so that we'll be strong enough to handle the next season coming in our life. Like for me personally, I wasn't financially conscious. I will not lie. I'm just like, if you ask my friends, they'll tell you, I'll be like, money come and money go. That's my mantra. And I spend anyhow. When I see that people need help, I give them. I'll be like, I even give them my last money. Even when I don't have safe, I will even send a message to my friends and be like, oh, this person is going through this situation. Please, can you help me so that I help this person? But I had to go through like a financial mess for me to like come to a place that, oh, I'm not handling my finances like better, and I'm trying to get back up with my finances. So if I did not go through that phase, that's a training, like it trained my character financially. So if I do not go through that phase, of course I still give. I will not lie, I still give. And sometimes I'm like, for somebody that went through such financial mess, I'm not supposed to be giving, I'm not supposed to be helping, but I still do, because at the end of the day, these are things that like I feel led or feel drawn to do, that I love to do personally. But then again, now with what I went through, I am more calculative with how I spend financially, and then I go to God. Yes, if you have a situation and you come to me, instead of me to like, oh, my emotions, like I'm such an emotional person and I would want to help you. Your problem is my problem. I just carry your burden. But with what I went through, like instead of me like, oh, I just go to God. And it has made me like most of the things I do, I can tell you for a fact that where I am right now, 80% or 70% of the things I do now, before I do them, I always take it to God in prayer. Even the tiniest, the littlest of situation that does not need details, I take it to God in prayers because of what I went through. And I'll not like my last collection for Smart Shop, New Beginning, because of what I went through. Like New Beginning was definitely God. I had to go to God in prayers for New Beginning and everything, and it came true. I will not like New Beginning was, it was like the best collection I had, that was really sold out and got a lot of responses even with no marketing. And last thing I learned from the Shunammite woman, and I want you to learn too, is that when you don't know what to say in situation, say what God says. You are in a mess. You don't know what to say. What is God? Ask yourself, what is God saying about this situation? Will this situation be solved or not? If you know, and you know from your heart that God, in this situation, God will say it will be solved, then it will be solved. So that is what you should say. That is what you should declare. It still goes back to what Pat Kenneth Hagin says, that faith is confessing whatever it is, confessing things, even when your situation doesn't look like it. Just keep confessing it. Probably you are sick. Like for me, and like it is not denial. You are sick, you are sick, you know you are sick, but it is us trusting God. Like um probably I'm in the hospital bed and I cannot walk. And what is God saying about this situation? If God says that I can walk, then that is what I'm going to be declaring. I'll be declaring I can walk. I am walking. Like not even you can walk, you are walking already. That is what I'll be declaring. Even when my situation is saying that I cannot walk, and I'm lying on the hospital bed, you get. So that's faith. And it is not us denying these things. Obviously I cannot work from the human standpoint view, but once God said that I can walk, that is what I will declare, and I will hold on to it. I will trust God. So to wrap up this video, I don't know what you are going through, but what I want you to know is that if God is saying a certain thing about your situation, about your case, as hard as the physical standpoint of view might be in that case, just trust God that it is well, and declare that it is well, and it shall and will be well with whatever it is that you are going through.